All right, welcome to the Millionth Film Review Podcast. My name is James. I'm here with my brother Henry. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit traumatized after rewatching this, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was a hard watch, but we did it. I'm proud of us, and it's only going to get better from here. Obviously, we're talking about the Batman 1966 film today. I feel like we've gone straight away on a negative vibe here. I mean, this film and this portrayal of Batman, obviously Adam West, has a special place in my heart. But when as a child, right? I mean, when you're watching this as an adult, it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy watch. We watched it together, actually. I mean, probably for the millionth time. And this is obviously the first installment in a series of rankings and reviews we're going to do of every live-action Batman film. So we're starting obviously with Batman 1966. We're going to rank all the elements within the Batman films as well. You know, the Batmans, the Jokers, the Batmobiles, etc. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a journey. We're starting with Batman. We'll do other franchises as we go along. Saw, James Bond. We're going to I'll throw a couple names out there to tease people, but yeah. So, Henry,
Right.
Your history with this film and your relationship with this portrayal of Batman. Tell us about it.
Well, I got to say, I mean, I wasn't as an avid viewer of the 1960s Batman show as you were, but I'd seen quite a bit of it from what I can remember. It was much the same
Seen
with
enough.
the film. It really felt this film, because I'd seen this 100 times as well. It felt like a bit like I said earlier, it's like they'd stitched the plots of a few episodes together, and then they had the overlying plot, which sort of began at the start where they kidnapped the Commodore, and then at the very end they just remembered it, and then included the whole part about the United World building and all that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like you say, I mean, I've actually at some point when I was about 14, I think, I watched every single episode of the TV series. I mean, every single one. I sat down and did like not a marathon, but I did get through all of them. And obviously, yeah, we saw this film like many times growing up. But even I remember watching this as a film, it did always feel long, even when we were kids. I mean, we've just watched it now, man, and we were there. There was a point where you're like, where does this end, man? It does drag on, and it does feel like 3 episodes of the series stitched together, and it's because there's a lot of things happening, and I don't know. I mean, it works, but it's like you say, it's like, oh yeah, we did this at the beginning. We need to remember to tie all those loose ends up. I don't know. This I obviously I have a massive soft spot for Adam West, for Batman. I mean, rest in peace as well. He died a few years ago, and I mean his portrayal of Batman is legendary. I mean, and all the colors and everything. I mean, it's just and the theme song, all the elements that are just so legendary about this show. A lot of people would say infamously, but for me, I mean, I just love it, and it's not meant to be serious. It is like, and it is very much a symbol of the times. These are the '60s, so it's all that stuff you got to take into consideration. They knew what they were. They got on with it, and I think we should treat them with that same respect that they treated themselves. So you can't really measure this against. We will measure it against the Dark Knight, etc. But within context,
keep in mind, like the time of it and everything, because like
exactly.
Really the shaping of like sort of the public perception of like what a superhero is kind of really depends on like their TV portrayal, because not everyone reads comics for the most part, to be honest. Like, even if it's not comic accurate, most people just know who Batman is from like the films and the show, if it exists, like it did then, and this was completely normal. So people thought Batman's a bit of a wacky guy, so they expect him in a wacky film. So I don't know. There hadn't been a Heath Ledger Joker by this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it is
Really
crazy
hard
to
to keep
think.
that in mind, but
Yeah, it's crazy. It dawned on me when we were watching it just now, the fact that there's only one Joker that separates Heath Ledger and Cesar Romero. When you deep that, you're like, wow. So I think without further ado, we're going to jump into the storyline of this film. So obviously it begins with like, I don't know, like a paragraph of writing on a brick wall which no one read, shouting out the police and like the armed forces, shit like that.
Yeah, everyone loves Batman. Just to flex all his vehicles in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like literally the first. I think the first. Okay, so the very beginning, like the credits bit at the beginning, you get all the spotlight of all the villains and Batman and Robin, and it's it's going there and it's got the music and it's just okay, and you're already like, when's this going to be over? It was kind of, and there's a guy running about in green light and shit. I mean, obviously a lot of this is like because obviously this is the whole kind of vibe of this show and the film obviously is like we have color, we're going to flex it on you, you know what I mean? Like even on the poster of the film it's like for the first time in the motion picture in color. It was a big deal that this was in color back then, right? And it's like we're going to throw as much of it at you as possible, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
So
nowadays it's like going fucking closer and closer to black and white.
legit, yeah, exactly. So lots of colors obviously, and we get plenty of that in the opening sort of credits. And then we cut to basically you've got the announcers like in Wayne Manor, da, 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 like this, and you got about 3 minutes which is just cut from which is just like literally ripped from the TV series. It's like they're in the Wayne Manor. You see Alfred cutting the flowers and stuff, and you get like fucking they get in the bat pole, they go down on Shakespeare's bust, and it's literally like everything. And they get in the Batmobile. Jet fuel's ready to go. Blah blah blah. They shoot out, and they're like, until that point, it's literally like the intro of the TV series, like word letter for letter, literally. I don't even think they filmed that. They just took it from the TV series. A couple of things that did make me laugh from this bit was I don't know if you noticed, but the music is done by a guy called Nelson Riddle,
Oh yeah.
which yeah. So Riddle, I don't know.
Yeah, he's so dedicated to the part, even
What are
if
the
it's
chances of
secondhand.
that? We should add the film was directed by Leslie Martinson. I didn't recognize his name, but anyway, yeah. Another bit that made me laugh for the first minute or so was millionaire Bruce Wayne. I mean, we
Yeah.
mentioned this when we were watching it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
how about a
Batman hat is worth a
silence?
lot.
Yeah, if that doesn't tell you about inflation, I know what does, man. I mean, now he's like not just a billionaire; he's like multi-billionaire, like some Elon Musk like level net worth. Do you know what I mean? And like, but there's like millionaire Bruce Wayne, and probably everyone in the cinema was like, wow, like fucking
Yeah,
millionaire, man.
stacks, man.
Yeah, not even multi-millionaire, just millionaire. That was a flex back then.
Yeah, he's got like a whole mansion and shit. Like, you know, man.
Yeah, he can afford all the Batman crime fighting stuff, and he's like, I mean, to be fair, didn't seem all that advanced. I mean, although the funny thing is, I mean, we'll get to it later because we do get to see the 1960s Batcave, obviously, and everything. And to be fair, from what I understood, a lot of the technology in that Batcave was really advanced for its time. Like, even though it's kind of all like joking, it's there and it's not. It was actually quite advanced, I think, for the time. So, um,
Yeah,
you know.
bit like some of the old Bond gadgets. You know,
Yeah, pretty
this
much.
camera could take 4 pictures underwater. You know,
Yeah. It's like, oh, this watch is waterproof. Like, wow. But yeah, it's all there. I mean, and as well, we're gonna do the impossible challenge. We're gonna be, even though this is the millionth podcast and you've seen all this shit a million times before and after, we're gonna be the first ones. Well, I am anyway. I don't know about you, but we're going to be the first ones that talks about this show, this series, this portrayal of Batman without using the C word, the four-letter C word, not cunt. Another one which I refuse to use to describe this film because every other time I hear someone talk about this film, they're just using this word over and over again. It's like try and use something else, man. You know what I'm talking
try and
about,
be
right?
original. You know. Yeah. In fact, that reminds me. I think Adam West actually got kind of pissed off by the fact that a lot of people sort of made fun of this because it was actually kind of like they put in a lot of like strenuous physical like work to get this done.
Yeah,
Like Burt Woodward was in and out of hospital every week or something.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was like proper like Mr. Bump style, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they didn't want to. I think the studio didn't even want to hire a stunt double for him or something because it cost too much
Yeah,
money.
they did all the stunts themselves. The smoke they used was like toxic or some shit, like I don't know, man.
Classic pre sort of like safety standards.
Yeah, no health and safety, man. And then anyway, yeah. So we get back to it, and they're like, so they're getting the Batmobile, fucking amazing Batmobile as well, by the way. Like
Yeah,
this
I say.
Batmobile walked so the rest could run, man. And still to this day, I think it holds up as like just an awesome car, man. It's legendary. It's so cool. It almost doesn't fit this well because It's black with like red highlights. I love I've actually got the Lego version of it up here. And it just means so much to me. That Batmobile for me, it's still when someone says the word Batmobile, to be fair, I think of the '89 Batmobile, but also this one. It's like right up there, you know.
Yeah, you could genuinely put this Batmobile in the '89 film, I think, and it would fit. Maybe just a little bit.
I don't know. Well, you know what's funny to me is the fact this Batmobile actually kind of low key inspired the one in the most recent Batman film, the Robert Pattinson one. Because that was like is like which I've also got here actually in Lego form is like inspired of '60s kind of muscle car, which is exactly what this one is. But anyway,
Yeah.
so they get in the Batmobile. They go to the Batcopter. You know, this is the first time we see it because in the series, up until this point, everything is like exactly how it's in the series, and it's like, yeah, we're going to show you what we did with this $1 million budget we got here. So here's a helicopter, which looks pretty cool, man. I don't know about you, but
yeah, obviously
I think
fit.
they just poured the entire budget into these vehicles, man, and
yeah, they're
nothing
just like,
else.
yeah, they just like made them clean up the sets afterwards as well because couldn't afford them lot.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like as well, they did like a whole new score for the film as well. The music. I was kind of sad that we never got the Batman theme in this, the legendary one, like the Batman. I was sad we didn't get to hear that. I wouldn't. It wouldn't have hurt for them to put that in. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
some.
you're right. I
But
mean, they
oh
have the
well.
instrumental version of it, I think, at some point, but
Oh really?
well, I think they based. I don't know if it was the exact one, but they definitely had a lot of instrumentals, like very similar to it, at least. But yeah, it's a shame they missed out on the opportunity to have that one. I can say.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, would it? Just at the beginning or the end, wouldn't hurt at all. We do get a pretty cool. I like the Batcopter theme, like.
Oh yeah, they certainly like to play that one as well.
It's pretty catchy. I do like it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's quite nice.
we hear it a few times to be fair, but I thought it was okay. Um,
Oh
and
yeah, they
then
get onto their like, little escapade in the sea with the good old rubber shark. All right.
yeah, so I mean, before we get there, they're flying over Gotham. We
Oh yeah,
kind of get to
everyone.
see that everyone loves Batman. All the women there, the police saluting him, and I love it. It's like they're like proper serious, and Batman's just like giving them a thumbs up, man, proper Adam West style. I love it. And then yeah,
Yeah,
they're
2 minutes
catching up.
later, they're in the ocean.
Yeah, they're catching up with this boat, this ship, this yacht, whatever it is. I don't know what exactly the reason why they feel so urgently to go and track it
Yeah,
down, but
because
I guess they're just
Commodore's getting kidnapped or something.
yeah, but I don't think they know this at this point. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really understand. It doesn't really matter, man. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
this
don't.
film.
I don't think they cared that much either. But anyway, they're going over to this boat. Batman gets down there. Yeah, they get the Batladder down there with the fucking little label on it, and yeah, the
Yeah,
boat
bat lads
vanishes
and
into thin
everything.
air. Robin doesn't get to, he keeps going down and then like doesn't realize the boat has vanished somehow. So then Batman's like, "Get me back up," and he comes up with the rubber shark, the infamous rubber shark. So
God, man, it's just yeah, it never gets old just seeing that, just like flapping around on his leg. He's just punching it, man.
yeah, one-handed as well. He's got one hand on the ladder, one hand like beating seven shades of shit out of this rubber shark, man. Terrible, man.
God.
And Robin, pulls out the what was it?
Yeah, the shark
Shark.
repellent bat spray. That's
That's
the
it.
one.
Yeah, and in between
Yeah,
the whale
yeah, the
repellent
barracuda
bat
one,
spray
just
and
in
the
case.
yeah, or he's got all the fucking marine animals just prepared for everything, obviously. Spray anyway. So he hands it down to Batman in the most elaborate, back-breaking style possible.
Yeah, he probably went to
Although
hospital for that one too.
yeah, and it took ages, man. Although, even though it was unintentional, I kind of, I like to see the best in this kind of. I like to see the best out of this portrayal of Batman, and I like to think it's like, well, it's a little nod to Dick Grayson's circus days, like, because that's kind of his backstory, right? He's
That's
like,
true. Yeah, maybe
so
he like requested it or something.
I heavily doubt it, but this is just my little fan theory in there, where I'm like, yeah, they didn't intend that, but let's say it happened, just to give him a bit of credit, undeserved, but so fucking Batman sprays the shit on the shark. The shark lets go and hits the water, explodes on impact, and like, wow, that was close. and then it cuts to Commissioner Gordon's office. So Batman's there, and all the press are coming to him, and they're like, "Oh, what happened?" And he's like, "Shut the fuck up! Don't ask me any questions."
Yeah.
And then he parts the ocean of reporters for this, good-looking Russian girl. She's like, "Yeah, I'm Comrade XYZ, Russian name." Batman's horny as fuck. He's like, "Yeah, tell me all about yourself." Yeah, so she's like, "Oh yeah, take off your mask," and they're like, "Whoa, what are you talking about, man?" And there's she's foreign, don't worry about her. Batman being a diplomat as always.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
racist, but
yeah. I mean, this is back in the days, right? I mean, Russia, America, all that shit. It was like, still pretty tense, I guess. And this was Batman doing his bit for world peace, as always. So he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about, she's new around here. She doesn't realize how it is, Even though this mask hides nothing, I'm so obviously Bruce Wayne. It's okay." So yeah, so they do all that. The press fuck off everywhere, and the Gordon and his mate Chief O'Hara. I've got to say, I love Chief O'Hara, by the way. I love Gordon as well. I don't know about you.
oh yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I personally like Chief O'Hara a bit more because he's a little more. He's just a little bit like slightly goofier, man. Like his
he's dopey as
expressions are
fuck, man.
always on
Yeah.
point. Like like he'll never like disappoint with whatever face he pulls as a reaction.
Yeah, he's dopey as shit, man. And like Gordon does everything so seriously. He's like he delivers the line like the funniest line with the most sincerity ever. Like really, I love it. And then you got O'Hara next to him, like facial spasms. They're like, "Oh yeah," he's loving it. And where's Chief O'Hara from? Is he's Scottish or Irish? Because O'Hara's obviously an Irish name. Yeah,
Well, I
he
guess
is
that you'd have
Irish.
to
Of course
guess
he is.
that
Yeah,
then.
what am I talking about? He's Irish, and they're trying to work out what's gone down with these villains, and they're like, "Yeah, so let's see who's on the loose these days, who broke out from Arkham," and they pull up these. I mean, they're not even mugshots, right? And they're
Yeah,
just
they
like,
really aren't. It's like their fucking graduation photo or something in their costumes.
exactly. It's like, you'd think that they could at least hold up a plaque. They surely did this back in the day, still, like that way,
Oh
that
yeah,
way. Classic mugshot. Why not, man? But instead, they just stood in front of a
it would have been really
person,
funny to
and
see a Caesar Romero mugshot like that.
yeah. Why not, man?
Yeah,
But
probably ran out of budget, couldn't afford the sign.
yeah, they just went, okay, let's do their audition photos, put them in, and then they sat there like, oh, okay, so there's four of them out there. It all happened at sea. Sea for Catwoman. I mean, I love this bit. It's just the most ridiculous shit. And what I love about the actual frame, the way it's framed, it's just all four of their faces: Batman, Robin, O'Hara, and Gordon. They're all there, and there's no office or any. It's just all focused in on their faces, and each of their faces are brilliant, man. You got Batman and Gordon like dead serious, delivering everything with like the confidence and the conviction. Robin's there lapping it all up. O'Hara as well. They're like, yeah, like, whoa, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, they're
O'Hara's
having a
having a
massive
wank face.
brainstorm
Oh,
here.
Batman, you're a hero. Oh, yeah. Um,
Yeah, and there's
and
some
then yeah,
yeah,
they're like, oh, that shark was pulling my leg. Joker. Um,
yeah, they managed to pull everything out of the hat, and then they figure out, oh yeah, all four of them are going at it.
yeah. They're like, oh, O'Hara. Do they work one? Hang on a minute. I think they work each one out as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
How is it? Does Gordon? Because Batman or Gordon says about the Penguin, I think, right? Yeah,
Yeah, Batman was Joker, I think. So he's saying it was.
yeah. So Gordon was Penguin, Batman was Joker, Robin was C for Catwoman, and then O'Hara at the end, the most
Yeah,
ridiculous
Riddle.
one, like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's all like one big riddle, Riddler. Oh, I mean, I don't know, man.
I never forget that scene, man. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You got to roll with it, man.
It's like
Um,
it's like so bad it's kind of painful, but also slightly funny.
I like because with these kind of things, it's all about delivery, and their
Yeah,
delivery
it's
is
true.
exceptional. So I think they get away with it, and obviously it is what it is, man. This is the 1960s Batman. This is how they solve their clues. What I will say is kind of, this is going to sound ridiculous me saying it, but they do put a lot of detective stuff into this film, into the show in general, but into this film there is a bit of like detective work going on. They have to follow clues and kind of unravel it themselves, the plot. and that is very important to Batman. He's the world's greatest detective. So, and that's something maybe we could say why this Batman is better than some of the others, because there's more detective work
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
more
Move
truth.
over, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Well, Patterson is the one who's like proper detective. But yeah, Chris
Yeah,
Nolan, man.
yeah. He didn't do it
Where
first
was
though.
your detective work, man? Where was your Riddler? Come on, man.
Yeah, it was Chief O'Hara in New Batman, huh?
Chief, oh, I would. You know what? I think you could have a character like that. I mean, in the new
Like,
Batman, they do
really
kind of
good.
have that kind of character in the Martinez guy, right? But he's more hostile. But he is there for a little bit of comic relief. But anyway,
It's true.
we'll get to that film eventually.
Yeah, I think from then on, like a lot of the film, I'd have to say most of it's kind of like almost like episodic. They think, oh yeah, let's fucking let's kidnap Bruce Wayne, or let's investigate how they possibly got rid of this, made this boat disappear and so on. It's like almost like mini plots throughout it, and then
Yeah,
at the end of it, they get on to actually finding the Commodore and his little MacGuffin.
yeah, yeah. This is so the next scene is we cut to the villains' hideout. They have two hideouts. They have this dockside under a pub, whatever it is, like hideout, and then they
Yeah, a
have
little shanty house.
yeah,
Right.
where there's like rent boys giving blowjobs to sailors and shit. And they've also got the submarine, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so we cut to this hideout. They kind of all introduce themselves. Catwoman, they're all terrified of this house cat, this pet cat. It's obviously terrifying to these super villains. I want to shout out Riddler's suit, by the way. His suit is amazing.
Yeah, not
Uh,
the spandex one, but the suit itself.
Well, I appreciate the change of suits with him at least, because they all have the same costume even in the series, and he mixes it up a bit because he's got the spandex, the silly one, but he's also got, and he looks dapper when he wears this suit. I'm not gonna like, because it's like a darker shade of green, and he takes it off at one point. There's like a three-piece, there's a waistcoat there, and you're like, oh yeah, you know what, this is pretty. And I think he might even wear the bowler hat at one point as well, right?
Oh, I'm not sure if he does in the film, but
He
maybe
does in
maybe
this.
when he's like infiltrating the United World Building, maybe I didn't notice it.
I don't know. I
Maybe
want to shout out his suit. He looked immaculate, and
that was a
and
good
and
suit. It made up for his spandex on.
yeah, and his portrayal of the Riddler actually got him a primetime Emmy nomination in the series, not for this film, but in the series, he actually got some kind of recognition for that performance, which I think was fair. Of all these ridiculous portrayals, I think his one was kind of worked as the Riddler. He is this kind of mental, like, just trying to outwit Batman. His riddles are terrible, but I think what's the actor's name? Frank Gorshin, right? He kind of takes the role somewhat seriously in amongst this ridiculous show. His is the one that kind of seems the most legit in, like, if you were to put one of these guys in real life, his one would be the most. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. So they're all there. They're kind of introducing themselves: Penguin, Joker, Catwoman, and then they're moaning about. They get interrupted by this whistle. The captain wants his tea, so they go and take the tea to the captain. He's there. He thinks he's on a
Yeah, I
boat.
love the scene. They
Yeah,
got like his little. They just put him in a little box room. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely minuscule with the pirate out. They're like pirate goon outside, like moving a picture of the sea up and down,
yeah.
blowing
Peddling.
off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and then you just got to give him his tea, and then the Joker doesn't even bother to like wear a disguise or anything. He's just
mm,
this full on white face, and he's like, yeah, I haven't been getting any sea air recently.
yeah. The
And
captain's
I
like,
just
you're
kind of
looking a
love
bit
like
looking a bit pasty today, there, mate. You want to get a bit of fresh air.
yeah, it's one of those like really silly scenes that just the way that they kind of sell the fact these characters kind of just buy it is just so funny to me.
Yeah, and
Like
this
I kind of love the captain right there, man.
the captain's a complete idiot. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he meant to be like the? Maybe
Yeah,
he's not. Well,
Avengers
because he's
back.
not captain. He's like a Commodore
Yeah,
Schmidlack is his name,
Commodore
right? And he's
Schmidt.
like, he's kind of, is he the inventor of this gadget that comes later into the film, or is he like?
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know.
so. Which is
He's meant
what
to be.
I believe he is because he's the guy. He's at least the guy who was transporting it. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's the guy who invented it. But
So
yeah,
there's two things here. They've either gone, okay, this character is like a genius, but obviously it's in the context, it's in the world of this show, so he's an idiot on screen. Or I have this kind of little feeling. I feel like throughout this film there are a few little shots at the English, and I feel like they do that through him a lot. There's just like this complete idiot. and using all like with his tea and shit. They're just I
Yeah,
feel like they're firing shots.
yeah, it is made by Big Ben Industries as well. So
Yeah, Anyway, Batman goes to the Batcave, does a bit of detective work. They track down this
the
boy.
yeah,
Boy,
with the
yeah.
don't forget the their boat. Get a shot of
Yep,
that too.
yep. So they're like, okay, we need to get to this boy where the ship disappeared. So we're gonna get in the bat boat.
Yeah, he leaves unattended. Anyone
Just
can
chilling
nip
there.
it.
Yep. They have such faith in society that they all love Batman. That no one's gonna, if even if they see this boat, they're gonna go, okay, I'm not gonna do anything with that.
Yeah,
Could easily nick
it's
it.
clearly Batman's boat. We can't nick it.
And it's the '60s. I think they all had doors to they all had keys to each other's doors back then. And all that. It's like
Yeah, people didn't even have doors on their houses.
they don't care, man. They're just like, oh yeah, it's the
Yeah, even the
'60s.
Batcave just has a massive hole in the back. Like any old wanderer could just stray
Oh
out.
man, I reckon that's how Bruce Wayne got some of his funding, man. It's like, come and have a tour of the Batcave, and like, oh, look at this, yeah, this is our nuclear pile over here, blah blah blah. Don't touch it, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
now I'm gonna have to kill you, but
yeah, they get in the Batboat. They get to this boy penguin submarine. I want to shout at this penguin submarine. It looks
oh
cool,
yeah,
even if it is like a painted wooden toy, whatever it is. I like it. Like it is cool, man. It
it
is
is
like this
pretty funny
ridiculous,
looking. I've got to say,
but it is cool.
I even love like the periscope that comes up. Is
Yeah, we see the periscope, the little, and it's not just a periscope; it's like a penguin's head with a little
Yeah,
skull
pirate.
cross
Yeah,
flag
yeah,
next to it. I
the
love.
Jolly Roger flag on it.
Yeah, the detail on it is
Gosh, just
fantastic. So anyway, they're on this buoy. Batman gets out his bat screwdriver, undoes one screw, the whole thing falls off. They magnetize him to the fucking buoy through their utility belts. They're firing missiles at them. They're all looking from the periscope. Again, the Riddler, man, he's there and he's in his spandex and his like you were saying before, his like
yeah, he's got power stance. Spreading his legs.
yeah, he's like getting it out there, man. He's like squatting there. He's like the confidence is real, man. Like he's like, yeah, man, I'm wearing the spandex. I'm gonna enjoy it. He was he was loving it.
God, man,
And
that
then
spandex like really got that fucking production in trouble before, man, in like their TV series.
yeah,
Yeah, because like this is a slight tangent, but I think there was when it was in its like height, when the series was in its height of popularity, there was this like sort of league of like Catholics almost like to do with like television decency, and they threatened to they basically threatened to sort of like use their influence to try and get it like taken off of southern stations because of was it I think it's Dick Grayson's like Bulger showing or something like
no way.
too much according to them. And I kid you not, man. Like they were actually like such a problem for the studio that yeah, they told Burt Ward to like sort of like do anything to sort of like I don't know shrink it or like hide it or whatever. But
No way.
it wasn't possible for like a lot of the action scenes they had to do. So at one point like they actually gave him a bunch of pills, right? And like he's like, oh yeah, just take these. He didn't tell him what it was. And like he found out like after a day or two, these were like chemical castration pills, man. And he like told Adam West, and like Adam West got pissed and like sort of had it all shut down. Um, and they just refused to. So I think what they did was I think they shot the action scenes a little differently to sort of avoid that. But I can't believe that they actually were like considering chemically castrating this dude because he was like, yeah, man, I want to have kids. He was eight. I think he was 18, and he'd already had a kid or something by that point.
Again, '60s,
Yeah,
different
exactly.
times. But wow, man, they really did that shit.
Hmm.
That Burt Ward, man, he went through everything with this show, man. I never knew that. That is mental, man. Imagine that. Imagine the law. They didn't care, man. Like, imagine they try that shit today. The lawsuits and shit, man. They're just like, it's the '60s, man. We don't even have police. No one cares.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. The
if
fucking
your
Batman.
cock falls off, get on with it, man.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
in that case,
Although it does make you think, because I mean, yeah, it is a bit weird that you're noticing these bulges and stuff. But I mean, sometimes you can't help but notice. But surely they could have worn
maybe it
like
just
a
says something
cricket
about
box or
who knows.
something. You know what I mean? Just kind of. That's what I'd have done.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I guess in his case, like, Batman literally did come to his rescue. You could say,
Well, yeah, came to
because yeah,
rescue
I
his
don't think
cock, man.
anything would have happened if he hadn't.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so he never took the pill.
No, he did. He took one or two, but then he realized what they were.
How do you think he noticed? Was he like they started shrinking? He's like, hang on a minute.
He must have been, because I don't know. Well, I mean, that was the objective of it, and I think he only put two and two together after a day or two.
Well, there you go, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
All,
I
all
don't want to hear about this Christian Bale putting on weight and stuff and muscle and stuff to be Batman and all this. Like, you want to talk about commitment to a character, man. This guy literally had his balls on the line for Robin, man. I mean, that's, you know. So, yeah.
I don't know what
Um,
this Catholic League was all. Was so interested in a man's bulge, but
well,
each to their own.
well. Less said about that, the better. So, anyway, we get back to it. That all came from Riddler's, power stance, cock confidence, alpha male shit. And then we've got it's only Batman and Robin are stuck to this boy. They're trying to repel this the missiles they're firing at them with Batman's little cereal box gadget there. He's like, oh yeah, oh shit, and he repels two of them, and the third one comes, the batteries die. I was wondering if they would go with batteries, but they didn't. Then they had some shame. And the batteries die, which I kind of liked because it's like, okay, that would happen in real life. You never see the car run out of petrol or something run out of batteries, but this one does. However, the way they get out of it is obviously
It's idiotic even for this,
yeah, this is like really
like
taking the piss,
a porpoise throws itself in the way,
yeah.
giving his life for him.
And they
Yeah.
don't even show it. I mean, that would be kind of cool if they had like, I mean, not real dog, but if they're gonna show a rubber shark, get a rubber dolphin, shoot out of the water, missile hits into it, bang, like that'd be kind of cool. But they don't even show that shit. They're just like, all you see is the submarine rocking about. And they're like, yeah, we got him, da, da, da. And then and this is the first of like 4 or 5 times they kill Batman in this show and don't. So, and then the next shot is Batman and Robin driving away, and they're like, oh yeah, that dolphin, man, what a hero, fucking what a champ, sacrificed himself for us,
Cool.
So anyway, they go back to the Batmobile and they call up the Pentagon, right?
Oh yeah,
And
they're selling their like. Oh yeah, you ever sold any Polaris missiles or submarines recently?
yeah,
Is that this dude called
he picks up the phone,
Gwyn,
the general of like this, and this guy's probably what like the
Admiral or something? Yeah, he was an
admiral
admiral.
there of the navy, whatever they got there in the United States, and they're like he's sat there playing tiddlywinks with his secretary, who's totally fucking like 60s again. And he's on the blower to Batman. And he's like, yeah, you keep practicing those tiddlywinks, like whatever. And then Batman's like, yeah, you flogged any nuclear missile, or whatever, like, or what was he
Yeah,
says?
it was the submarine he was going after. It's like,
Submarine.
yeah, how the hell does this guy get his hands on it? And he's like, oh, I don't know, mate.
Yeah.
PM
Oh yeah, we flogged
says,
one last week to this chap called P.E. Gwyn, or whatever.
yeah, PM Gwyn.
Yeah, P.N. Gwyn. Yeah, that's it, P.N. Gwyn. I don't know
Yeah,
why they
I've
didn't
seen
just
that
do
half an hour ago, man.
They never did this in the series, apart from Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Dick Grayson, Burt Ward. But they never used the villain's alter ego. I don't know why they didn't just do Cobblepot. But then again, maybe that would be too much explanation for the room temperature IQ people that.
Yeah, for
I
the
don't know.
kids, man.
Cobblepot. Who's Cobblepot? It's the Penguin's real name. What? I thought he was called the Penguin. Anyway, Pete Engwin. And Batman shits all over the general, or Admiral. He's like, oh, thanks, you've been really helpful.
Yeah, like,
And
oh, I
whenever,
can't. Yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, mate. Just sold, like a nuclear submarine.
yeah,
Enjoy your evening.
Adam West's passive aggressiveness, man, is like out through the ceiling, man. Like earlier again when they're in the press conference and they're like, and he's like, the reporter's like, he's like, yeah, come on, guys, ask me anything you like. We're all friends here. And it's like, yeah, so what happened with that shark? No further questions. You don't need to know. Whatever. He shits on him. And then again with this general, it's like, oh, thanks, general. You've been real helpful. Then he's like, oh, Batman, did I do something wrong? He's like, you sold a nuclear submarine to someone who doesn't even leave their phone number. Have a nice day. So it hangs up on him. And the guy's like, all right, I'll just go back to Tiddlywinks, whatever.
God, love that scene. Like, so sometimes, I'm like, oh, I've got to see this film. I'm like dying inside, but there are some like scenes in there that are just like so good. And
Yeah,
I think a lot of it's like you said, is the sort of the way they just play it is just right. That it's just like kind of so absurd, it's funny, but they managed to like knock it right on the head.
as long as he nailed the delivery.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? I don't know about you, but even at school, or whatever, when you're recording something for like some project at school, whatever, right, or college, whatever, and you're doing something, and then obviously, and then the giggles start, right, and then you have to, and can you imagine the amount of times they must have been roaring in laughter every day, man, trying to deliver these lines with a straight face, and like how hard that must have been, man. They must have took days to like, or
Yeah,
maybe they
so
were just very good at it. I don't even know, man. Maybe it was completely
like
unironic.
yeah, but that's one of the things. That's one of the things that makes like Adam West's like his Batman portrayal so good. Is the fact that he's managed to like portray some like the to deliver some of like the most ridiculous lines, but like with a straight face. Like you must have seen like that sort of like infamous clip of him like as Bruce Wayne and also as Batman on two phones.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course, it's
Like,
brilliant.
like the fact that he manages it, like plays it like so, like
Yeah,
poker face is amazing. Like,
yeah. So then, anyway, the next scene, they go back to Commissioner Gordon's office, and again, they just do the same thing again, where they work out who the villains are, but this time they're like, "Yep, it's definitely these guys," because I think, oh yeah, when they're on the way back in the Batboat, the Riddler shoots up some riddles in the sky, I think, and they're like the longest riddles in the. It's like shoots up a missile. Never mind actually writing that in the sky. That'd be hard enough with a plane. But anyway, so then they do, and it's like you just again like at the
yeah,
beginning of the
he's got
film
like a
when they
whole
have the
paragraph in the sky, man.
paragraphs, man. You got like fucking you're reading all this shit in the sky. Like, nah, I'm not bothering reading all that, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he just says,
It's
"Fuck it, I'm just gonna like hunt him down."
it's like that meme. It's like, yeah, I'm not reading
Yeah,
all
I'm
that.
sorry if it happened, and I'm glad if it didn't, or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just like, I'm not reading all that, but good for you, or sorry if that
Yeah,
happened. You know?
totally fucked that one up. But
And it's not just one riddle; it's two riddles which have ridiculous answers, which they combine. There's one of them which is like, what I mean.
yeah,
There's
which kind of people rush around or something?
yeah,
Yeah,
Russians, and
Russian who all
what's
dynamite.
yellow and right? A ballpoint banana. A Russian's going to slip on the banana and break her neck. Oh, it's Kit Kat. You know. So anyway,
Yeah, Kit Kat, man.
yeah,
He used to call it Kit Kat because he's like a fucking alter ego as Kit Kat was so stupid, man.
I didn't realize this until this viewing of the film. This time
But
we've
that she's
watched
not
it.
called Kit Kat.
No. I knew she was. I knew that, but Kitka is the acronym of her really long name. I think I'm not going to go back and check it, but I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's
you're
what Adam
right.
West says later. He's like Bruce Wayne. He's like, oh, nice acronym, you know. But
Well,
anyway,
what you got? What are you expecting from the film, man?
so they go back and they're like, okay, yeah, we know it's the Penguin and the Riddler and the Joker and all them. So I wonder what they're going to do. And they're like, well, if it was, and it's like, oh, they're going to take over Gotham. And it's like, two of them would try that. Oh, the whole country? Maybe if it was three of them, you know, I mean, we're going from Gotham, which is, I don't know how big that is, but let's say it's population about 10 million, right? Or back then, 1 million, because everything was like,
Yeah, everything was smaller, even in America.
yep. And then it's like the whole country only takes one more of these villains to take over. So we're going from 10 million to 300 million, one
Yeah,
extra
as soon as you
person.
add like Catwoman to the mix, like you got
Well, that makes all the
world.
difference, apparently. And then when you add the Joker in there, who, by the way, does absolutely nothing in this film. When Adam, and this is again, we go back to the delivery. Adam, like they're like, the Gotham, no, the country. If it's three of them, yes, but all four of them, it's got to be. Turns to the camera, the whole world.
Oh man, just
Mm.
it makes
You're
the
like,
film bearable that he can deliver it so well.
it's amazing.
Just
And then I think the next thing we see is
yeah, them like having a they're having a chinwag in their like their sort of hideout. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna kidnap. Oh, we're gonna kidnap to sort of like get Batman to
yeah,
turn up
yeah. They
here and
work out what they're
blow
gonna
him
do.
up or something.
Their whole plot is made up as they go along. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we've got this cool weapon. We've kidnapped this admiral. We've got everything we need, but we need to take out Batman. So, because obviously, we could take over the world with all these resources, but Batman is the only one who can stop us. So, now, like, how are we going to take him out? Well, we saw him. We saw him get hard for that Russian earlier, for Kitka earlier. So, we're going to bait him in with that. We're going to draw him in. So.
Okay, they're gonna bait him in with someone they kidnap who just so happens to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like, oh, okay. So how are we going to get Batman? Well, let's kidnap a millionaire. Oh, which millionaire? Well, there's only one millionaire around these places. Yeah, that's got to be Bruce Wayne, and he's single, even better. So probably a virgin too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send out Kit Kat with her Lara Croft '60s titties out there like fucking triangles, man. And we're gonna send her over to Wayne Manor and be like, oh yeah, I found these pictures in my flat. What do they mean? And he's like, nothing, don't worry. And she's like, nothing. And he's like, well, they might mean something. Yeah, let's discuss it over dinner, Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, at her place, more specifically.
Yeah. And he says, Doveche to her, which is, we worked out from our Serbian side, which means good evening in Russian, because Veche is also in Serbian evening, and Russian Serbian is the same thing, as everyone knows, right?
Yeah,
So we see Alfred briefly here. I was kind of sad that we didn't really get much of Alfred in this film because I think Alfred. This is again, if we sit there, what I was saying about the Riddler, if you take any element from this portrayal of Batman and would it work today, I think Alfred is one of those elements because this Alfred is actually quite good. I really like him. In the series, he gets involved. We barely see him in the film. You wouldn't know that, but in the series, he gets involved a lot. There's one episode where he dresses up as Batman and has to rescue him. And he's like lanky, skinny old guy in this Batman. It's ridiculous. But Bruce Wayne sees off Kit Kat. He goes to Alfred and Dick Grayson, and he's like, right, so this is the plan. They're going to lure me in with her. So you're going to go in the Batmobile. Robin, you can't drive. Alfred, you got your driving license? Here in my pocket, sir. All right, drive safe. And throughout this, Batman, Bruce Wayne, he's a responsible guy. He's a role model. Drive safe. No underage driving either. Like we're all responsible adults here. Preaching the good message, obviously.
yeah.
And then we cut.
Oh yes, the kidnapping of Bruce Wayne. Oh, we've got to love it.
Yeah, I mean, we got the whole build-up as well, man, because Bruce Wayne's a gentleman. He's taking out Kit Kat to like these fancy restaurants, and they're like,
so you got that French song which will infamously turn up
got
later
the song. You've got him dancing. Like hand is like respectfully, not even touching her back. It's like kind of in a, it's ready to like grab the ass, but it's also like I'm respectful. I'm a virgin. This is the first woman I've ever made eye contact with. I've got to like, hold it all together. He looks amazing, by the way. I mean, Adam West, he looks fantastic as Bruce Wayne, as Batman. It's his shape. It's like if I'm playing Batman, I mean, he's got the beer gut. He's got, he looks terrible, man. He could have hit the gym, man. Do you know what I mean? Just, do a few reps and all that. They would have made the world of difference in that spandex suit. But as Bruce Wayne, he looks fantastic. They're dancing. They're like in the chariot, whatever, horse and cart, whatever you want to call it. And she's whispering all this dirty shit in his ear, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's getting so horny, man. They're so gonna do it." And while she's doing so, she's doing some. She pulls out the cat Morse code thing out of her bag.
Yeah, relays to HQ in about 5 seconds the entire message, which is
That's right.
Record.
Yep. And yeah, Catwoman's being a total cock tease to him. They eventually get back to his place. Then
they'll
Batman
lock up on their little jet umbrellas or whatever.
Yeah. In the meantime, we cut back to them. They're like, okay, we're ready to pounce. Let's get the jetpack umbrellas ready. And you get the jetpack umbrella music, which is I thought was cool. It's like I like it. All the meantime, obviously Robin and Alfred are outside, chilling in the car, watching Batman get it on. I don't know where these camera angles are coming from because there's a bit where they're like, he gets back to her place. He's like, I'm so in here, man. I'm getting fucking laid tonight for the first time. I can't wait. I might see a bit of ankle, whatever was going on in the 60s.
Yeah, they've got like a camera shot of him. Yeah,
Bruce Wayne gets his first kiss in there, and he's like stood upright. She's kissing him. She's all over him, man. She's like, oh, getting it on. He's there like a statue, man. He's there. Like,
yeah.
Oh, this is nice. And
I wonder if that was intentional. I wonder if that's just like how Bruce Wayne is, or if that's just how they filmed it. I'm really not sure. Maybe it was intentional.
It's a fine line, isn't it? And I don't think we'll ever really know for sure. Alfred and Robin are like, this is too much. We're gonna see. I don't want to see Adam West cock. We see enough of it. From the outside of the spandex. I don't need to see it in the flesh. So I'm gonna turn off this camera and we're just gonna chat about what we're gonna have for dinner. And in the meantime, yeah, they bust in the villains, and they're like, yeah, you're coming with us. They have a bit of a scrap. They kidnap him. Alfred and Robin, they're like, yeah, well, at this point, he's probably just lost his virginity. So let's check. Let's hopefully they're done. We won't catch him in the middle of the thing. The room is empty, so they're like, oh shit. And they look up, and then the umbrellas are flying away. Catwoman's orgasming on there. She's like, whoa, like it's probably some vibrating umbrella, and she was probably kind of horny from all that shit as well. So they kidnap Batman, Bruce Wayne, and he's tied up there. He wakes up and he's like, "Oh, you fucking filthy bastards! I was just about to fucking get laid for the first time, and you ruined everything." So he goes and headbutts a wall, and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, where is that girl, man? I totally was about to get in there." And they're like, "Oh, we'll show you." So they throw him in a, and I don't know if you saw this, but they tie her up on the bed, and then they throw him on her, and his face goes straight into those Lara Croft tits, man. You know what I mean? And he's in there, and he's like, "Ooh," and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I've got this gadget up my sleeve." And she's like, "What, really?" And he's like, "Yeah." Ooh. And then this is for me. We're gonna come later and nominate our most Sigma moment, and this is my nomination for me when he goes, "Yeah, I'm a capitalist. I carry loads of cash on me, so I need this kind of device on me." And she's like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool." And then they're like, "Hi, we got you. Let's see what you got up your sleeve." They pull him back out, and it's all a trick. Batman's like, "Hi, you idiots!" Fucking beats them all up, explaining why they're idiots in the meantime, and you can't hear anything he's saying. But basically, it was all a pretty cool plot to get him untied. They have a fight. He escapes. Goes back to he escapes. Jumps in the docks in the sea. Goes back to Wayne Manor. He's bone dry, obviously. They go back to Villain HQ. And they're like, okay, well that failed. We're gonna need a new plan to get Batman. So they're like, okay, well we've got this fucking gadget. Why don't we use it on Batman? So like, okay, so they pull out this, and now this is really the plot of the film, right? It's all about this dehydration gadget,
Yeah,
which I think is actually kind of cool.
it
I
is
feel
an
like
interesting
if
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like if this was done, if this was an idea in a Chris Nolan film with that kind of execution, it would work and it would be really cool. Like to, dehydrate a mass and then rehydrate it somewhere else, first
yeah.
so you
I
can
don't know if
carry
you
it
could
around in
turn
your
people
pocket.
into powder like that, but
Yeah, cut the colored powder, obviously. Like,
yeah,
anyway. So, and then they they bring out the five bravest men in the world, who literally have guinea pig written on their t-shirts. They're prepared for the most horrific shit in their life. They're like, okay, you're guinea pigs. If this works, you're gonna get $1 million each, whatever. And they're like, oh, okay, this is gonna save my family, whatever. My mum's having critical surgery. I need this money. I'm gonna sacrifice myself, my body for whatever these super villains want to do to me. So they line up in a line. They're all there like this. Penguin pulls out this gun and he's like, "Yeah, nothing to worry about here. I'm just gonna extract every bit of fucking moisture in your body." Zaps one of them, turns into a fucking pile of dust. The other four don't bat an eyelid, man. They're just there like, "I'm prepared to die, man." Whatever. They don't even look at what they're gonna become. They're too afraid, man. They're fucking. I don't know if they're frozen in fear. But he vaporizes all of them. They get out the little dustpan and brush, and they're like, "Yep, don't spill anything." Catwoman, like with the shakiest hands ever, is spilling it all over the gaff. But we get to Bat. Okay, so we get this classic scene. They Batman's obviously still horny, wants to go and bang that Russian. So he's like, "Okay, we're going back to that hideout. Here's the bat rope." Runs up. They have the classic scene from the series. They're like, climbing up the building.
oh yeah, which is almost certainly not tilted, camera wise.
Yeah, no, I can tell you for a fact. I read some how they actually achieved that, and they filmed it on a steep incline to make the cape effect look like it was going down. They put a metal rod there, I think, and they climbed at about something like a 45-degree angle or something like that, 35 degrees, something like that. So they actually did do a bit of climbing, but obviously
Yeah,
not at
not
90
90
degrees.
degree vertical, man.
Yeah. So anyway, they climb up, they find the bomb, and then this is maybe the most infamous scene from the film.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, the
I don't
classic
know.
bomb scene.
What do you think is more famous, this scene or the rubber shark?
I don't know really. Like I mean, the rubber shark is one that's probably like mentioned by name the most, but I feel the bomb scene is one that people actually remember because it's like so many gags, like one after the other.
Yeah,
Like, he can't throw it at like the nuns, he can't throw it at like the mothers with their prams, he can't throw it
the
at the
little
bank.
ducks.
Yeah, even the ducks, man.
And
Even the
obviously you
line
get
like
the legendary line at the end, the iconic,
yeah,
some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And I think, if you wanted to show someone what the 1960s Batman was and they didn't want to watch the fucking film or the series or anything, I think you could just show them this clip and it would pretty much tell you everything you need to know. So he finds the bomb. He tells everyone to run for their lives. Everyone clears out of this pub except these two fatties. They don't care, man. They're like enjoying their food, so they don't care about this bomb. They're
yeah. I
gonna
was
die
wondering
soon
why
anyway
that
from
was like
clogged arteries.
yeah, I never
Um,
understood that joke though.
huh?
I never really understood that joke. Is like I don't know, not a lot of visual comedy, just like two people just chilling while chowing while everyone's running around.
No, they're like, well, we're gonna die of a heart attack soon anyway. The way we're going, so doesn't matter. Yeah, like you said, he's like a band comes about three times. Like there's a couple in the boat. There's the ducks, the nuns, you name it. Batman can't get rid of this bomb. He delivers that iconic line once again, and he runs off into some steel pipes. He's fine. And then Robin finds him, and he's like, "Yep, all good here, mate. Don't worry." And then the Penguin shows himself as but it's so badly disguised, it's deliberate, right? And it's like, yeah, they're gonna arm the Penguin. I don't know, it doesn't matter. So he reveals
Yeah,
himself, and we get a bit of pretty futuristic technology references here because they're like, okay, we're gonna scan your fingerprints. It's like, ha, I don't have any. And then like, okay, well, we're gonna do an iris scanner thing, and this is only technology that was recently released onto like phones to like unlock your phone, man. So yeah, very ahead of its time, I think. It's fair to say.
yeah,
However, they don't have it on a handheld device. They have to go back to the Batcave. This is the whole plan. Penguin wants to get into the Batcave so he can rehydrate the guinea pigs and they can take him down. So that's exactly what he does. And he wakes up in the Batcave. I always found this a bit funny because they do the bat gas on him, and he wakes up. He's like, wah, 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 wah. He's like, oh shit, I blew my cover. And then yeah, he goes and has a glass of water, and he's spending ages pulling something out of his trousers, and all of a sudden, fucking these goons are there, and we get a confirmed kill from Batman, Adam West Batman, no less. Um, Obviously, fucking Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck as well. They fucking kill a shit ton of people, man. And this is meant to be Batman, who doesn't kill, doesn't use guns. And you think at least, Adam West Batman, this all PG, they're like, he's not gonna do anything. He totally ices this guy, man, like unintentionally, but still. He punches this guy, fucking disappears into what was it he says?
Brazil.
Uh Antimatter, something like that. Antimatter. And Penguin shits himself, he's like, oh no. And they're like, well, actually, yeah, we totally believe you. So we're going to let you take the Batmobile, and that's going to lead us to your hideout. We're going to get in the Batbike, well hidden, of course. They get in the Batcycle, and again, we get another really cool vehicle that they pile the whole budget into. But I think this is the only time we see the Batcycle, isn't it?
I believe so, but it does have a little sidecar. I think that was rather
Oh,
dangerous.
that was super cool. Yeah, that sent Burt Ward to hospital multiple times. I know that for sure. I saw an interview with him, and he's like, yeah, just for that one take, that one scene, sorry, where they fires off the bat go kart, just so they can go either side of the helicopter. Which, to be fair, is a really cool shot. But that basically cost Burt Ward 10 years of his life through injuries sustained, just trying to get that shot right. Was it worth it? I think so. You'd have to ask Burt Ward, of course.
Yeah, poor fucking Burt Ward.
What a guy, man. What a hero. What a champ, man. Shout out to Burt Ward. You were going to tell me some fun facts about him. Was that the thing about the cock?
Yeah, that was it.
Unbelievable. And
The dedication to his part. It's
yeah,
unreal.
respect, man. He has had kids since, right?
I don't know. I haven't actually looked that up. He may
Let's
have.
hope so. Well, he
I
had one
imagine he
before, right?
has. With a baller like that. Who wouldn't want
Yeah,
to?
of course, man. If James Bond Daniel Craig, James Bond had kids after his ball treatment. I'm sure Burt Ward could as well. So we're getting towards the end now. So they get the Batcycle into the Batcopter. They shoot a missile from the submarine into the Batcopter, which lands in. Hang on, I wrote it down here. Into the Foam Rubber Wholesalers Convention. So obviously that cushions the blow. I just got. I mean,
That's
obviously
probably where
we've
they
got.
bought the shark, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got to we've been very generous to this film in terms of the effects and all that because obviously it's the 60s, no CGI or anything. But when they crash the helicopter and it's just the frame shaking about like this, like on a fucking Microsoft PowerPoint effect,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Foam rubber
it does
wholesalers
show the
convention.
age just a little bit.
Yeah, they land in that convention. And Robin's like, should we get a taxi to this UN? But they work out, oh yeah, they do some more riddles and they work out it's in the UN building. So they're like, okay, let's get a taxi. And he's like, no, we're going to run there. We're in peak physical condition, as you can see by my pot belly. So they're like, okay, let's go. And they're fucking running. Batman's like, he's pretty good, man. He's a trim guy. He's like, yep, I do my 6 a.m. run every day. I'm good. Robin, you're slacking, mate. Because Robin, he's running like, he's like fighting for his life, man. He's like, no, man. He's like gasping for air, man. He's like on the bleep test shit. You know what I mean? You got that, like, you know, when you do the bleep test, it's like that kid. You're fighting for your life, man. He's like, anyway, they make it to the UN building. The villains do as well. They break in, they dehydrate all the UN guys. Do you want to make some comments about this UN setup? I feel like you do. I mean,
Yeah, I think they're missing a few countries, you know. They got 9 dudes, most of which are from Europe,
yeah,
not including Japan, represented
yeah.
by
They
a
just have a
guy.
token guy for Africa,
Yeah,
someone
from
for Asia
Nigeria. Yeah,
in Japan. I don't think they have anyone for South America, and yeah, the rest are from Europe.
they do have Israel though.
Oh yeah, they have Israel, and is that it?
Yeah, they don't even have China or anything.
No China, yeah. No one from South America, no one from Australia, nothing. Just
Yeah,
these 9
I would
people
just like to
represent the
mention
whole
because
world.
I noticed this in the film. I think you did as well. The man representing Japan just so happens to also be the same guy who was Mr. Sato in
Mr. Osato believes in a healthy chest.
yeah, Mr. Sato from You and Live Twice,
That's right. That's right.
which I think was filmed the year before, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. 1965. And it's funny because I was thinking when we were going to record this episode, I was like, yeah, this is the longest film we're ever, sorry, the oldest film we're ever going to review. But actually, then I realized we're going to do James Bond, which started 4 years before this. So that's cool.
Oh, I'm
And the
wrong
only,
actually. Hang on, I'm wrong. It was 1967, so it was this
oh,
part that landed him, his job at a Saso,
there you go.
chemical company.
This is the thing about Adam West Batman. It crawled so, Christian Bale could run, if there
Well
was
done
no Adam
artist
West
as well.
Batman, who knows, man? Who knows if any of these, because this, like you said, brought Batman to the screen. So, you've got to give credit where it's due.
Well, it feels like you're miss. It feels like we're missing something here because there's so many
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
there's so many different little plot points in this film that
Yeah, because
you
they
kind of
they are
forget
they
where
have a
you are.
confrontation in the UN building, and they're like, make one move and Kit Kat dies, and he's like, oh shit. This is a plot hole, I think, because it's like, how does she know? If that was Bruce Wayne, yeah, but it's Batman. Batman, as far as they, oh no, or maybe they did. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
How
a
they
good
have it
point. I don't
worked
think
out.
they ever mentioned Kit Kat as a Batman, but
They did.
because they never
This is
even
why they do
see
it. He
Batman,
goes, if
like
Batman, if you take one more step, Kit Kat dies, and he's like, oh fuck. Then I'll never get laid. I'll die a virgin. So he lets them get away, and then he's like, okay, yeah, they pursue in the Batboat. They get blown up again, and they're like, yeah, we killed Batman, and they didn't.
Batman remembered his
Um,
batteries.
Yeah, they have the showdown on the submarine. They fucking
Yeah,
fight.
with all
Robin gets,
lovely old, they're like pals,
yeah,
kaboom.
it's pretty cool. The way they surface the submarine, because they're circling around the top. Robin pulls out this really cool gun, fires it down into the ocean. It somehow makes them rise up. Uh,
It like they like damage them in a sub so much that they have to like rise for air,
yeah,
otherwise they're all gonna
I
drown.
think Penguin was like, I'm going all the way, man. I'm a captain. I'm going down with my ship. He was ready to. He was going to die with like watery grave, man. He was cool with it. Riddler and Joker were like, I mean, Joker does nothing the whole film, man. It's embarrassing. Um, Catwoman's like, no, don't you know cats don't like water? And that's enough to make Joker go, yeah, let's surface then. So they do. And they have this submarine showdown. And yeah, like I said, this is where the pals come out, all the legendary fucking, kablam, all that shit. They save it all up until this, because, I don't know about you, but I was watching the fight scenes there and I was like, what? They don't do this lettering before? And they leave it till the end. Best till last, obviously. They're falling in the water. They're coming back out. A cat gets involved. They're kind of half using it as a weapon. Catwoman doesn't care about this cat either. She throws it at Batman. Batman cares about it. He catches it, puts it in the boat.
Yeah,
That
little
cat,
thingy.
for all
Yeah,
we know, is still out there floating in the
that's a
water.
good point. Actually, you never reconcile that little cat.
Yeah. Again, it maybe went down like the dolphin man, like sort of sacrificed himself for the greater good. Then yeah, Catwoman gets revealed as Kitka. She trips up on the fucking periscope, and Batman finds her. And all it takes is this little eye mask to come off, and Batman's like, "Oh, I'm the world's greatest detective," but that fooled me the whole time. So
Yeah,
he
a bit
sits
like Dick
there, man,
Grayson's, his one as well.
and
Got much
this
difference.
is possibly the most cringe moment in cinema history, because not only is it cringe, but it lasts for what feels like a fucking eternity, man.
Yeah, it
And
increases the film's runtime by about half an hour.
yeah, we were sat there and it was like, okay, how long is this going to go for? It was so awkward. I remember thinking it when I was watching it as a kid, when we were watching it just now, because we were watching it together. And I was like, Henry, is the is the fucking film paused or what? And it's just the French music from before on their date. And he's there and he's like, just contemplating his life, man. He's like, wow.
Yeah, I've also kind of maybe definitely didn't reveal my identity just now,
Yeah,
because
he's like,
like
yeah, who knows what he's thinking? He's like, man. Robin's like, Batman. He's
yeah,
like,
they still
even
it still blows my mind though. They just left a massive plot hole in the film where it's just, oh yeah, wouldn't you figure out that he's Bruce Wayne given the fact that this Batman's infatuated with her as well, and somehow knows this Kitka woman they've never introduced to him.
yeah, this is the thing. Robin sits there and he goes, Batman. He's like, no, don't say anything. She might work out that I'm Bruce Wayne. So,
Yeah, I think she has already, but
well, who knows in this world?
yeah, that's
So
true.
that was,
Everyone has got like the IQ of a fucking banana, so
yeah, that
maybe
was
can hope on.
really painful to watch, man. That scene, I was like, fucking hell. And then yeah, then the captain shows up and he's like, what's going on here? I've been sat in this cabin for fucking God knows how long, and
Yeah, he
I'm,
hasn't
I'm
been
gonna,
fed. He's only been drinking tea the whole time.
yeah, I'm sick of this tea. I'm gonna see what's going on out here. And he
Right.
picks up the fucking vials of the UN dehydrated people, takes them off Batman, smashes them on his table, and then sneezes all over the shit. Like, and it's like the most exaggerated sneeze. Oh, fucking all over the
Yeah,
gas
he's got
tank.
like a also 180-degree spray there.
Everything. He makes sure, and he's like, it's sort of like flailing his head, man. He's like, yeah, let me get everything, man. Like, let me just fucking fart that last little puff over there as well. Like, let's make sure I fuck everything up as much as possible. And Batman's like, well, fuck. We're gonna take this back to the Batcave. Otherwise, the world is going to fall apart because of these 9 people that totally represent the whole world.
Yeah, it's not even like I
Um,
like it. It's not even the leaders of the countries. It's their like UN ambassadors.
yeah,
Like,
it's like a guy from the embassy, and they're just sat there having an argument.
yeah, they couldn't just replace him with another one.
Yeah, but it's the film, man. It's the movie. The stakes have got to be high. So,
Yeah, no, no, you can't do without the United World Building. Not even the
exactly.
United Nations.
So Batman is sat there in the Batcave, and Robin, and they're like doing their science shit, which looks pretty cool to be honest. And
Yeah, that's true. They got some nice props.
yep, Gordon, shout out Commissioner Gordon. He's got Batman on one phone, the president on the other, and being filmed on the broadcasted live to the world, on TV. And he's there, and he's like, "Yeah, Batman, how's it going?" And Batman's like, "We're fucked." And he goes to the president, like, "Oh yeah, how's it going, Gordon?" He's like, "Batman says we're right on time. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry, President." And then he goes, and the TV's there. He's like, yep, the whole fate of the world lies in Batman's hand." And Batman's there, and he's like, "Okay, I think we've done it." Which president did you say it was? It wasn't Kennedy, was it?
It would have been Lyndon B. Johnson by this point, I think.
Was it in '64 he got? Or
63.
okay.
No, I studied history.
Okay.
Yeah, real fucking useful subject that one was.
Yeah, well, it is when you're discussing 1960s Batman. I mean, it was all worth it, right? That degree in
Oh
history.
yeah, of course. You know
There you go.
they actually got the real president to do that.
There you go. That's why they can show
They
his face.
resurrected JFK just for the part.
Yeah, this is an important film at the time.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't show his face, because he
Yeah,
had a bullet hole in it.
because they dug him up and he's a corpse and they dressed him up. So anyway, so they fix the powder. They take it back to this UN office. They set everything up and like, okay, here we go. Gordon's got the whole world in the palm of his hand. He's going, okay, we're rehydrating now, and they're broadcasting all the languages. And lo and behold, Batman has saved the world because they all get rehydrated, and then they're all talking each other's languages, and this is confusing as fuck. Because I mean, how long did it take you to realize when the first time you watched this, if you remember that, where you're like, hang on a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's when the British dude starts like pulling out his shoe on the table. That was it.
Yeah, which country is that meant to be? Because I don't know.
I think it's meant to be Russia or something, or maybe the French. I don't know. The stereotypes back then still look like
Yeah,
hardly
so the
even
racism
recognise
was
them.
very prevalent back then. Shout out to the fact, like you said, they when they were rehydrated, it had those metal rods up their backside. So, I mean, I don't know if that was part of the process, but that's probably why they're
Don't
all
know.
so
They
pissed off.
spawn in right on top of them. So
Yeah, man, makes you
don't know.
wonder.
Don't know
Um,
about that internal organ failure, but
and the commissioner, the president, they're like, yeah, it's a success, success. They've done it. They have to repeat everything apparently, and they're like, oh great, the whole world's celebrating. It's the best day ever. The world is saved because these 9 blokes got rehydrated. But each with different languages, which you would think causes a massive conundrum. But Batman goes, no, this is the best thing that could have possibly happened. Even better than we expected. Robin, our work here is done. Let's exit discreetly through the window. And they do.
yeah, that's when the credits happen.
And that's it. And luckily, we do get the shortest credits of all time.
Yeah, it's the end
They
of the
just give the
longest
finger to
film known
everyone
to
that
man.
worked so hard on this film. And they just credit, oh yeah, Adam West, Burt Ward, the end. And that's it. That's what happened. Now, what we're going to do is the last bit of the show, which is going to be a continuous thing throughout the rest of our rankings of the films, reviews of the film, sorry, where we're going to rank each of these elements and we're going to stack up each of these films against each other. So, obviously, this being the first film we're reviewing, we'll start off at number 1. Unless, do you have any further comments about the film since we're ready
You
to
know,
move on?
my brain's fried after this film. This is
Yeah,
probably the
man.
last time I'm ever going to watch this.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So, the categories we are ranking the film itself, we're going to rank all the Batman films. The Batmans, the Bruce Waynes, the Robins, Jokers, Penguins, Catwoman's, Riddlers, Alfred, Gordon, Batmobile, Batsuit, theme song, Sigma Moments. So, film, this is number 1, obviously, because it's the first one we've done.
Yeah, as well as
Uh,
everyone else.
yeah, the Adam West Batman portrayal. It is what it is. I don't think there's anything we can say about that that hasn't been said before.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his main quality is the fact that he's able to like play such a like a silly sort of like role and lines
Yeah,
so straight. It's like
I
so
mean,
admirable.
yeah, for me, this Batman portrayal is like basically what Roger Moore is to James Bond. It's not serious. They roll with it. They're like, this is what we are. We embrace it. We're going to go all the way with it, and that's cool. Anyway, his Bruce. Okay, so the Bruce Wayne. Now, personally, I'm going to go into bat for his portrayal of Bruce Wayne, because I think that his Bruce Wayne is what Bruce Wayne should be like because he is a role model. He's like an upstanding citizen. He's not an asshole. He's like a genuinely good guy. He's like saying all the right things. He's a diplomat. He's nice. He's like a gentleman, as we saw with Kit Kat. Um, he's saving himself for marriage as well, clearly. So this guy is all round a pretty admirable guy, and I think since
Yeah,
this is
maybe it's reflective of the '60s. Not everyone wants to like hang every millionaire that was running around.
he's an upstanding citizen. He's a capitalist, and he's proud of that. As you were allowed to be back then.
Yeah, you had to be
He's
back then,
a
otherwise the
successful
CIA
man
would be
that
at your
gives back
door.
to the people. Everyone likes him, so it's okay. Robin. Um,
God, this guy like put everything on the line, man.
guy's a hero, man. But what he went through for this portrayal of Robin, as ridiculous it is, you getting like his costume leaves very little to the imagination. He's like got his whole thighs out there and everything. Um, but he's a hero, man. He put his heart and soul, and more importantly, his bollocks into this production. So we've got. I think. I mean, there aren't that many Robins anyway, right? In these films
Yeah,
that we
they're,
can
they're
rank.
always in they're always in the greatest of Batman films, as we know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Burt Ward's Robin is number one at the moment.
Yeah,
The
admirable
Joker,
for his yeah. His,
Cesar Romero's Joker, who does absolutely shit all in this film.
yeah,
Uh, but at least we do get his theme song, which is cool, which is in the show. In the show, he gets to do a lot more. In this film, he's limited to getting his zap. He's like, oh, when Riddler and Penguin are at the beginning, and they're like, yeah, let's be friends, and zaps both of them, and he's like, haha, you know. So that's cool. We do get that little gag,
they
but
have to work his like sort of like practical jokes into it,
yeah.
like with the shark and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the visual portrayal of this Joker because it is very on point. It's like the hair, the white makeup with the smile, the laughing, all
Yeah, they
that.
probably painted his face with asbestos, knowing the time.
Yeah, well, and he obviously famously refused to shave off his moustache. That's how much of a fuck he gave about this role. So, you know, they painted over that. Penguin. Now, this is probably the one portrayal of anything in this incarnation of Batman that has stood the test of time. Because if we look at every Penguin since, you've got Danny DeVito's in Batman Returns, which was very much inspired by this Penguin. This is the only kind of character that I don't think has evolved much over the decades, because this
Mm.
Penguin, Danny DeVito's Penguin, and then if we bring it all the way to Colin Farrell's Penguin, visually and I don't think they're a million miles apart, especially when you think about Cesar Romero's Joker and Heath Ledger's, or this Riddler and Paul Dano's, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah, with Jim
Penguin,
Carrey in between.
yeah, I think this Penguin was quite good. Like visually, it is what the Penguin is. There's not so much you can tweak about that, but I think it works. He's got his little theme song as well. And I like Burgess Meredith's Penguin. I think it's solid. You know, he does a good job. He's got all the gimmicks, and I like it. He's got obviously famously the prosthetic nose as well, which continues all the way to Colin Farrell's one. Obviously, he has a lot of prosthetics, including the nose, which was a direct shout out to Burgess Meredith's Penguin, actually. So quite iconic there.
Yeah,
Catwoman. Now, who's the Catwoman in this? I think Lee Merriweather, right? Yeah, but anyway, this Leah Merriweather Catwoman is going to represent the Catwoman within our rankings because she is the one in the film at the end of the day. And funny enough, the only character that was recast from the series because everyone else reprised their role in the series except her. So she's there. I think. I mean, what does she do in this film? She does play an important role in terms of the Kitka thing, but as Catwoman, she doesn't really do anything. She's got the cat. That's about it. Um,
yeah, she pushes Batman and Robin in the
I
water.
mean, she looks great, to be fair. She's fit, you know, the figure. It's like a 60s hourglass figure and all that, like the curves and shit, you know. And she looks great in that leather suit. So, you're like, yeah, man, you know. I don't blame Batman in this film, you know. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. And the Riddler. Now, I like Frank Ocean's Riddler. I don't know about you, but obviously he got nominated for a Primetime Emmy, actually, for his portrayal as the Riddler. Not in this film, but in the series. And I like him. I like his energy and stuff. He is mental, obviously, and I like his
Yeah,
suits, and you know, he is kind of everything the Riddler needs to be, and he does his bit in the film. So
yeah, I think that's what we mostly covered about him. So he,
yeah,
yeah, he's a very colourful
and
character.
as must be emphasised, because he made such a point of making sure we remember, he's probably got a massive chopper down there because he is not afraid to, you know, man spread. Alfred. We're going to rank the Alfreds, and like I said before, I think this Alfred was very good. He didn't really get much to do in this film, but in the series and everything, he is a very solid Alfred, I think.
Yeah,
And
very responsible adult.
yeah, he does his bit. He's very English. He's he's fucking. I think the actor's called Alan Napier, and he's like 6'5" or something like that. He's very tall. He's like taller than Adam West, and yeah, I think his Alfred is very solid. So obviously number one, Commissioner Gordon. What do we think of Commissioner Gordon in this one?
Oh, I don't know really. He does that same. He does that same thing as you said. He's sort of like the mirror image of Adam West. Adam West Batman. He's like just plays everything extremely seriously. No matter how ridiculous it is, it's just
Mm,
it's just his delivery. He just plays it like completely straight. No like
absolutely.
no crack of the grin or anything or like anything ridiculous. He's just like fully serious. Batman's his last hope of the world. Everyone's gonna die if these 9 people get like liquidated or whatever. He just
Yeah, he's brilliant. I think you said it there perfectly, and he's absolutely useless as well, man. And he knows it as well. In the series, there's an episode where Batman gets kidnapped or something, and
society starts collapsing.
yeah, no, literally, Gordon turns to O'Hara and he goes, "Do you know what this means, Chief O'Hara?" And he goes, "What? We're gonna have to solve something ourselves." And they both look at the camera like, "Whoa!" It's a fucking funny moment, man. I couldn't tell you what episode it's from, but I do remember that.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
going to watch the series to find out.
yeah, exactly. The Batmobile, we kind of referenced it earlier. I fucking love this Batmobile. I think it's iconic. It's a classic. Obviously, it doesn't really do much in this film other than get them from A to B, B being all the other vehicles that they
Yeah,
wanted to
exactly.
display in the film. But in the series, it does a lot of cool stuff. We don't really get to see it do anything in this film, but it is just aesthetically a fantastic Batmobile. I love it. It's iconic.
Yeah,
It's so
especially
cool.
with its sped up footage to make it look it's going faster.
Yeah, I do love it though. I love this Batmobile. Obviously, I think it will end up very high in my rankings. Like I said before, when someone tells me about the Batmobile, they say the word Batmobile, I think of this one, and I think of Batman '89's Batmobile, which is the next one we'll be reviewing. So probably by the end of this franchise review, they might end up being my top two. We'll do a joint list, obviously. I don't know if it'll be as high up on yours, but anyway. Batsuit. I can already for sure. I think this is going to be like rock bottom by the end of the time we finish this franchise. But what can we
Yeah,
say
there's not
about this
much to say
Batsuit?
about it. It's just, I mean, yeah, obviously it's iconic for the time, and it has to be colourful, to illustrate their use of colour. But I don't know. It looks like sort of a costume someone wear to a party. It doesn't
It's
really
well,
cover
it
anything either for
literally
its
is. It's
face.
what I mean. It's parodied in Only Fools and Horses, right? Quite famously. So it's ridiculous. And Adam West, obviously he did. He took this role very seriously. They did well, but it wouldn't have killed you to have just hit the gym just for a week, just try and get those early results, just so you have like a little bit of definition, man, because that is a weak chest. He's got no arms, no, like nothing, man. Like, just come on, man. Like, for your own dignity, you're great. You look great in the suit as Bruce Wayne and everything. Like, as a Bruce Wayne, he's very good, but in the suit and everything, I don't know. It's like, he hasn't got much to work with. It is a spandex, ridiculous suit, but you could have at least, kind of like beef up a little bit. Have a protein shake, man. It wouldn't kill you. Is there anything else we want to say? I mean, the cowl is pretty iconic. To be fair, I like the design on it, the eyebrows and everything
Yeah,
to give it a
got
bit of
little ears. Yeah,
and and to be fair, I think that cowl did inspire Robert Pattinson's Batman cowl, specifically the nose piece, because it's like a separate piece that's stitched on, and I
yeah,
think
you're
this is
right.
the only cowl you see that other than Robert Pattinson's one. So I think that is a direct throwback. And then the last three, no, the last two theme song. So
Doesn't really appear the original one. It does.
it doesn't. So what are we going to do? We have a decision to make here. Are we going to rank? Because we have to make an entry for this for the Batman theme song. And I think it does have to be the iconic one, even though we don't hear it in this film.
Well,
The
yeah, I
original
guess it
take of
would.
it.
Just sit to the top for now.
We're going to
until
put it
for
in
the
as our
others.
entry, and it is iconic. The Batman theme song, everyone knows it, man. It's iconic. It does its job, man, and it does very much symbolize this film, this incarnation of Batman.
Yeah, you can say that for sure.
And finally, my Sigma moment in this film. Which moment do you nominate?
God. Oh, probably almost certainly that time where he's just roasting the Admiral down the phone. That's just too funny, man. Like, it's one of those things which is actually like, it's okay to be able to watch, just because of the way he plays it. It's just hilarious.
I don't know if that was so Sigma though. It was just passive aggressive, and I don't know if that's.
I don't know,
I thought it
man.
was
The
more
guy,
so when he was like, when he's explained to Kitko, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a capitalist. I've got this thing up my ear because I carry loads of cash, obviously, and he just says it so matter of fact.
that is true. There's that.
It's like, and it's again like, eventually we'll get to Ben Affleck's Batman. He's like, yeah, I bought the bank. I'm rich. What's this suit about? I'm rich. Let's just, that's Sigma's fuck, right? So I think.
Yeah, but then again, he is trying to impress a woman, so not very Sigma of it.
Oh, good. Oh, but I don't think he was, actually. I don't think he was. I think he was saying it so matter of fact. I don't think he was doing it to impress her. He was just saying it to explain why he has this thing on his arm.
That's
I
true.
think she knows he's rich because she says earlier, "Oh yeah, your pictures all over my Russian newspaper." So I think she already knows that. She's maybe even a gold digger. But the way he says it, he's just like, well, obviously I'm a capitalist millionaire. I carry loads of cash, so I need this kind of protection.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna settle on?
After the score of this, damn.
No. For the Sigma moment.
Yeah,
So
I'd
we're gonna
probably
rank
have to
it
say
against.
that one.
Bear in
He's
mind,
making
whatever
a
we
good
nominate
case.
here is going to go up against Ben Affleck and Christian Bale's Sigma moments. So
Yeah, well, it's always going to get beaten, isn't it? Yeah, I'd probably settle for the one you put out because
the
I couldn't really think of many
capitalist
others.
Bruce Wayne,
Capitalist man.
I'm a capitalist, yeah, and that was okay back then. So yeah, we're going to give this film a ranking as well, and we'll finish off the episode. So out of 10,
God, I couldn't give it anything higher than a 6 personally.
I'm with you there. I want to just do a disclaimer where the series itself I would give much higher ranking because it is a series. This film doesn't work as a feature-length film. And they didn't even do it as a 90-minute film, just enough to make sure it's feature length. They had to fucking put in another 15 minutes we didn't need. They could have cut out loads of stuff just to make it a bit more snappy and just focus on one plotline instead of all these other like ones that just feel like 3 episodes mashed together. I would give it. I'm going to be a bit cheesy here in the spirit of the whole. I want to say parody Batman. It's not a Batman parody. It's portrayal.
Yeah, it feels like a parody.
I'm going to give it 6.6 as a ranking. Is that fair?
Yeah, it was just because it came out at 66.
That for that reason only, because we can't give it a 7. I think 6 is a bit harsh. So 6.6. How do you feel about
6
that?
is generous considering I never want to see this film again.
But to be fair, we've seen it so many times before. If we'd seen this for the first time, I think we'd enjoy it a bit more just because of how ridiculous it is. We'd be like, oh, well, that was fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck did I just watch? I don't know. I would like to be someone that
Yeah,
gets to watch this for the first time as an adult, but I
yeah,
think.
I can recommend it for a first time, possibly with drinks.
Yeah. I think,
Unless you're
yeah,
underage,
it's
no
watchable
underage drinking.
within context, within reason, and I think it will end up obviously low on our rankings, but it won't be the lowest. I have a feeling about that. So
Oh yeah, Batman Forever's got some competition.
we're gonna see Batman and Robin. Yeah, man, that's gonna be a journey. So that's it for Batman 1966. We will be back next week with Batman 1989, which I'm super looking forward to. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.